Ooh,
You
Drum
can't. You
roll.
can't. You
Oh.
can't.
Drum
You
roll,
can't.
please. High super roof.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Whoa. Okay. I did not
Oh
expect that.
man.
I don't know.
I think you need to look at a couple more pictures.
All right. So, if you have been a K-pop fan, you know that groups have defined vocals, dancers, rappers, and so on. And there's one thing that's very unique to K-pop, and that's the fact that for almost every group, there seems to be someone called a visual. And what this visual does, of course, it's kind of to bring attention to the group, and people love seeing a pretty face and whatnot. And when they see one, they search who they are, and thus are introduced to the group. So that's kind of free promotion. And although many groups don't have a pronounced visual, most K-pop fans will agree that there's a member who's worthy of being called the visual. So today, I have selected some of these visuals from these groups and have asked both BM and Dubious to help rank them and see, if there's potential overlaps and any other patterns, or if there's just total disagreement. So hello to everybody tuned in. You're listening to Offbeat Koreans. If you're interested in watching some of our previous podcasts, please check it out on our YouTube channel. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe. All right. So how I went looking through these 27 girls is I just went through different articles and I concluded that these 27 were it. Am I going to include every visual in K-pop? No, just because that'll take too long. And is this to be taken seriously? Of course not. Beauty's all subjective, and I think we're going to agree that all these girls are super pretty. So again, take our opinions with a super grain of salt. Okay. Yeah, so the first thing I kind of want to get down is what criteria are you guys going to be using when ranking these girls? Like, how will you decide who's an S versus D? BM, I'll start with you first.
Mine is just pretty subjective.
It's just like first impression, like who's pretty,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dubious.
So, damn, you said that so quickly. Now it's gonna seem like I'm gonna talk for a while or something. I'm going more by like influential. So like S would be like more influential or most, and then like D would be less influential. I went a little bit less. I tried to go a little less subjective, so it'd be kind of a different take from BM's point of view.
Sure.
So for me, like I kind of in like a visual, I kind of care more about like how much they draw attention to the overall group, right? So that means they have to be pretty, which is the subjective part of it, but they also have to play a role in raising like the popularity of the group, right?
Right.
So I made a chart. I'm not gonna show it. I mean, I might flash on the thing, but like I'm not gonna show it to you guys. But like there's a couple things that like some metrics I gathered. One of them was like Google Trends. So like if you type in, let's say like Wonyoung, and then you compare to like how many people searched on Google Wonyoung versus how many people searched on IVE, like you'll see like the difference, like the ratio of it. So then like for me, if like the individual searches are higher or like relatively high compared to like the group searches, then like they're more popular, right? And people kind of find the group through them or something like that, right? So that's one of the metrics I looked up. Another metric that I'm looking at is like the group popularity, because like it doesn't matter if you're the prettiest girl, but if you're from like a really like no-name group, I just don't think you could be that influential overall.
I see.
Of course, there's outliers, right? But like in general, I think that is something that I care about. I also looked at whether they acted or whether they appeared in a variety, and I kind of gave them a score for that, just because I think that means that that gives them more chance for the audience to find them and therefore the group. And then the last two metrics I looked at is how long they've been in the industry for, just because I think longevity means legacy. And the last very subjective one I looked at was how I think the audience views them. Like, so like in my past experience of following K-pop, if there's a lot of articles I saw with like some of the girls getting like raved by like Korean audience, I took that into account. Whereas like if I didn't hear about these girls at all, like I'm gonna take that to mean that the general population don't really care for them that much.
Okay. So two very different perspectives we'll be judging today.
Damn,
So
you
that
really
was
went on
quite
there,
the
huh?
view. Yeah, I know.
I-
This guy's
but
considering
like,
everything.
but we had to get two separate views, right? Like we
Yeah.
had to get differing views here.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it. A simple first impression versus a thorough research into backgrounds. I like
You
it.
make BM sound bad, like it's like very simple, huh?
No. It's two different perspectives. I appreciate it.
Damn.
Okay, we could start off with Bona from 우주소녀, aka Cosmic Girls. BM, we could start off with you.
Or dubious.
Okay, yeah. Or we could just like switch off on and off. Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, sure.
So for Bona, I gave her a C. And the reason why I give her a C is she actually is near like the mid tier when it comes to the Google Trends thing. So like the ratio of people looking for her versus Uju Sonya, she's like right dab in the middle. Uju Sonya, I would say, is a mid tier girl group. She, however, has acted, and and I do remember seeing like articles about her, or like even on Reddit and stuff. So that's why I gave her a C. I think generally she has good reception, but she's like mid tier in terms of individual kind of ranking.
Okay. What about you, BM?
I think for me, my first impression of her, because I don't really know her. I was thinking C, but now I'm gonna place her at D.
Oh, wow.
Why'd it go down?
I don't know. Like more pictures I look at her.
Man, my man's doing this just live. He's doing it
Wow.
live.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
and you guys can always kind of switch the
Yeah,
girls
yeah.
around
Yeah,
midway as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I just want to
She
add
might
that.
she might go up, but
Yeah,
for now D.
Yeah. Okay. Dang. All right.
You heard it
From
live.
the list. Okay.
We
Well.
just want fans come after him.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry, BM.
Straight up drop the girl live, dude.
Oh man. All right. Second girl, Chaeyeon, who's from Daya. She used to be one of the members from IOI, but they were only there for 7 months, and now she's promoting with Daya. BM, I'll start off with you this time. She's also relatively unknown from an unknown group.
Yeah. Wait, BM, didn't you watch it? I could cut this part off if I'm wrong, but didn't you watch a drama with her in it?
Yeah. The one with the guy that looks like RM. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
The one with
Netflix
the asshole with
show.
the girlfriend.
Yeah. I'm gonna give her. No, sorry, not D.
Oh, jeez.
No, that was close. I'm gonna give her B.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I like her generally enough.
Mhm.
Like, yeah. So B
Interesting.
tier.
To B, so middle of the list for you.
Mhm.
What about you, Dubious?
I also put her in B. She is actually in the Google Trends. She's the 5th highest individual ranking. So like 50 on average, like 50% of the people, like if 100 people look up Daya, there's 50 people looking up Chaeyeon's name.
Oh, I see.
And so like that to me is like a huge proportion of people that are searching for her, and she is from a group that is 6 members.
Mhm.
And even though her group like I think is more on the lower tier in terms of popularity, she has very strong presence in acting.
Mhm.
And technically, she has longevity of 6 years. So I do think she is in the B tier.
Yeah, and she has a very stereotypical pretty face as well.
And don't say that, or else BM might drop it to another ranking.
She kind of reminds me of Irene.
In the picture, right?
Yeah.
Some pictures, yeah. On to the next girl, Hani from EXID, the girl who went viral because of her video. Dubious, I'll start off with you for this one.
So with Hani, we have our first A.
Oh.
So Hani is even higher than Chaeyeon. So Hani, so 60. Yeah, if there was 100 people that are looking at EXID, there's 61 people that are looking at Hani's name.
Okay.
The group
Yeah.
I would consider to be like on the low mid tier, like mid tier, low mid tierish. She has acted a little bit, but if anything, her presence was stronger in variety. And I think the general reception from the Korean population was very favorable to her when she was the it girl for. It wasn't a long time. She wasn't the it girl for long, but there was a period of time when she was, highly sought after. And then she is technically. Her longevity has been 8 years, so it's also on the higher end. So I give her an A.
Yeah. DM, what about you?
Oh, he was gonna give her a D, and now he's thinking.
No, it's a D.
D. Okay.
Yeah, I give her a D.
Hurts my heart.
Breaks your heart.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
I don't think so. These are all like rankings based on what I think in my head is like a pretty K-pop star.
Yeah,
Right.
that's fair.
And relative to that, she kind of like pales in comparison, you know?
That's fair.
Yeah. Is that too spicy?
No, I think that's like a perfect take on it. It's just we're just looking at this in a different way, right? Like if I was to add try to add my subjective things, like things would move around. It's just I'm just looking at it completely different.
Yeah. Yeah, so I give her a D.
Yeah.
BM, I wanted to ask, is your D list kind of considered like they're pretty but they don't really deserve the visual title, or like it's just like they're so for you?
Ooh, putting on the spot. Ooh.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes.
Ooh.
It's gonna be the intro. I'm just kidding.
That's my answer. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
I'll
it
put the
applies.
Bobby Lee. Sometimes I do.
All right. This next
here
one.
we go.
Irene from Red Velvet. BM, you first, bro.
Actually, yeah, I actually don't know what BM's take on this is. I don't know if I've ever talked to you about Irene much.
Oh, really?
I think she's
Yeah.
a C tier.
Oh.
Yeah. She's like, I think she's like prettier than the average person enough.
Mm-hmm.
But like personally, I don't think she's that pretty.
That's true. I've never really heard BM talk about Irene.
Yeah, no, I don't think BM ever raved about Irene.
Yeah, like all of my friends liked Irene. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, whatever.
Oh, they liked her. What about you, Dubious?
Dude, I think there's a point where most Korean guys are like, yeah, Irene's just straight up goat.
Yeah, like
But,
Dubious liked Irene.
I really liked Irene.
The other BM liked Irene.
Yeah, our close friend.
The other BM.
Yeah, other BM liked Irene. For me, Irene is honestly like, not all the tiers aren't listed, but I put her like a high A. And the reason is she's relatively high in the individual rankings. She's like in the top like 6 or 7. The Red Velvet is like on the cusp of being like a top. So they are a top tier girl group, but if we're talking like the overall history of K-pop, they're on like the cusp of being a top tier girl group. She is, and then like it's just you'll see so many articles and pictures from Korean media about how pretty Irene is. There's so many, or she was featured in a lot of like individual CFs commercials. The group has been around for the past 8 or so years. The reason why I don't think she makes it into the top S tier is because she is very low in the acting and variety rating. But overall, I think like if she matches those, if she gets better in those areas, I think she would easily move up to an S.
Okay. To the next girl, Blackpink's Jisoo.
Oh,
Dubious.
Okay. All right. So Jisoo, I give an A. So Jisoo. Okay, so Blackpink, I think are one of the top girl groups in the history of K-pop. I gave her that benefit. She has been acting embroiled in controversy. However, even in
Yes.
that controversy, she is bringing light to Blackpink because
Right.
she is acting. I gave her a very low score for variety. I don't think she did much in variety. I do recall seeing a lot of articles. Every time there's like a visual list, she's always there. So I think the reception from the Korean audience has been very good to Jisoo ever since she debuted. The reason why she's not an S tier after saying all that is because in the Google Trends, she's actually in like the bottom 5 or 6 in terms of like individual rankings amongst like the who in Blackpink brings like the popularity. Like I honestly think more, like I think it's not controversial to say like girls like Lisa or Jennie probably are sought more in Blackpink. And for me, my definition of visual means that you bring popularity to the group or you stick out in the group. But I don't think she does that. I think other members in Blackpink are so much more popular, or not so much more popular, but more popular than her, where her role as a visual is kind of diminished.
I see. BM.
I think for me, Jisoo goes into an O tier.
What's an O tier?
Um,
So it is the highest so far. Oh.
yeah, because there are times where Jisoo's very pretty to me.
Oh, I see.
But other times, like not so much, you know.
Damn, you straight up made an oof tier?
Yeah, sorry, I changed.
You're getting canceled. You're getting canceled.
Yeah. Anyway, so like certain times she appeals to me, but like certain times she doesn't. That's why I give her like an O tier. But the times that she does, it's like
she shines.
Like, wow, like magnificent, you know.
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
No, I know what you mean.
No. On to the next girl, Tzuyu, who's from a group called Dreamcatcher. BM, I'll let you take this one.
I feel like I need to.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I need to like look through more photos.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know anything about Dreamcatcher nor Tzuyu that much.
Same.
So I'm purely going off of like the metrics I found. Like I'm just gonna bank on these, and if you're gonna come after me, go after the metrics, go after Google Trends, right? She's in like the bottom 3 or so of individual like searches, compared to Dreamcatcher overall.
Interesting.
So even Dreamcatcher as a group, so they've been around for 8 years or so. So that's quite a bit of time. But even then, I feel like they're on the lower mid tier or mid tier at best. She has done a little bit of acting, but she has very low scores for acting and variety from me. I think the reason why I give her C minus is because I do recall an article some time ago where she was very highly ranked in the visual department by other K-pop K-pop members. So even though she scores low on a lot of the metrics for me, that is the reason why I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and put her at C minus.
C minus. Okay. BM.
My turn?
Yes, sir.
That's her. Yeah, that's her. I created a new tier for her.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Super oof.
Dude, I met a Dreamcatcher fan recently. He's gonna be so sad.
Really?
But he's never gonna watch this, so it's fine.
Yeah. Look, as I look through more photos, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Dreamcatcher is one of those groups that does like much better internationally than in Korea. So they're never really able to get the spotlight on Korea yet, even despite the fact that they've been in the industry for so long. So yeah. The next girl, Jiwon, from Cherry Bullet, we all know her because she recently participated in Girls Planet and was canceled out, most probably because of her company, but just throwing that out there. BM, I'll let you take this one first.
So I hope you appreciate that I'm making it spicy and fun, you know?
Yeah. But don't harm my heart.
I'm gonna put Jiwon. So I thought Jiwon should be in Super Oof.
Ooh.
But then I think she's better than Chiyu, so I put her back in oof.
Back
Yeah.
in oof.
Dude,
Okay.
you find out Chiyu exists today, and you're like compared to Chiyu. Oh man, she's a standard.
I just go off the most relevant thought, you know.
And that's fine.
But she's a very close super oof.
What
I don't
about
want
you?
to complicate things, so I don't want to like create another tier in between,
Mm-hmm.
like mid oof.
Mid
But-
oof. Yeah.
I don't want to complicate things, you know.
Dubious, what about you?
She is the recipient of my first D. The reasoning is because she is on the
Interesting.
lower like third of the individual rankings compared to Cherry Bullet.
Wow.
Shut up.
Wow.
She is, and I will say this. Hey, everyone, I wanted Jiwon to be in Kepler, so don't come after me. She is also in a group that is small.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything that she had acted in. I gave her a very low score for variety. She overall had very low scores across the board, unfortunately. So that's why she is the first D.
Yeah. Next girl, Mijoo from Lovelyz, or former member of Lovelyz.
Feels bad.
Yep. Dubious.
Mijoo, I gave her a. Whoa! What did I give her here? Okay, whatever. I will give her a C.
So let's see.
Okay, so she's like snap dab. No, she's in the middle of the individual rankings. Like, would you think that Mijoo would actually see a lot of like individual popularity?
Yeah.
But once once Lovely stopped promoting, then like she kind of her graph goes a lot higher, whereas Lovely's kind of trended down. But I'm just looking at the time that they had promoted, right? As a group. And so, she was kind of in the middle of the individual rankings. The only high score that she has is in variety. But even then, like, she's high now. But then when Mijoo was part of Lovelyz, yes, she did appear in variety, but it wasn't the same impact nowadays. So she's from a what I would consider a mid-tier group. Low on the rankings, or low rankings on the acting, high in variety. But overall, I don't really think a lot of the Korean population considers her to be like a top tier visual.
Okay, so she's like popular, but she's not really what people would call like a major.
I think she's relatively popular, but like Google Trends tells me she's mid tier, so I don't know. I don't even know if she's that popular. I mean, if I had Naver data, I think that might have helped a lot, but I don't.
Yeah. BM.
So after looking through her photos,
Oh no.
dubious insert like photos of her here.
Okay.
I give her a high oof.
A high oof.
Yeah, high oof.
All right.
Oh. All right.
God.
Oof plus. All right.
I'm gonna just have a picture of you on the side of this while we're doing.
Just dox me.
You know that meme in the Lord of the Rings where it's like the orcs and it's like me and my friend looking at the cute like waitress or something like that?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll put it in the video.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite memes. Yeah.
On to the next girl, Minju from former IZone. IZone, the visual group.
I thought that was twice or Chewy.
There's always similarities that was said between her and Chewy. But BM, I'll let you start off with this one.
Ooh, I want to hear this.
Minju's a high O.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right next to Jisoo for you.
Yeah, right next to Jisoo. Like pretty much tied.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Minju's very pretty. But sometimes like, especially in like some like fashion shoots, like I know like styling is like it can like change a lot, but like it kind of like makes it unappealing, you know.
Yeah, she's had some weird stylings, I will say.
Yeah. She's on a beauty show in Korea. So if you guys are ever interested, feel free to check that out. Dubious, how about you?
too, right?
Yeah. Like Get It Beauty or something like that. I think that's what the show is called. Dubious, how about you?
All right. So she is from a top girl group. I wouldn't, I gave her that benefit. Her what she's good at is that she is from a top girl group, and then she has acted a little bit, and she has appeared in Variety as an MC. So I gave her some points for that. And I do think generally the Korean population considers her to be pretty. However, considering that she was an IZone, which disbanded after 2.5 to 3 years, and I think the bigger metric that I'm looking at is that she's actually mid tier in terms of individual Google Trends ranking. And I think that's because while she's pretty, she's from a really big group which had more popular members than her. And I think she was overshadowed by some members like Wonyoung or Sakura. And so I think it's very similar to me in terms of the ranking I gave
Jisoo.
or the reasoning for Jisoo, where I think she's personally I think she's very pretty. I think the Korean population recognizes that, but she doesn't play a big role as a visual in IZone. But because she doesn't carry the same name of Blackpink or recognition by the Korean public, I'm gonna give her a B.
B. Okay. Next up is Miyeon from (G)I-DLE, the girl who played Ari in KDA. Dubious.
Miyeon. Okay, so Miyeon I gave a B. So she's actually in the lower half rank of the individual Google Trends voting or rankings. She's from a higher mid-tier girl group, and she has done a good amount of acting and variety, which I think helps her popularity. And of course, I didn't include this, but you also have to consider what you mentioned. She was part of KDA, and so one of the few I think girl group members that kind of appear to the gaming industry that at large, right? And I whenever there are visual rankings, I do see her from time to time. So I think the Korean population generally has favorable feelings towards her. So that's why I give her a B.
BM.
Miyeon is a
Ooh.
Drum roll.
You can't.
Drum
You
roll,
can't.
please. Hi, Subaru.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Whoa. Okay. I did not expect that.
I don't know.
I think you need to look at a couple more pictures.
I do not like most of her features.
Oh. Yeah, she was almost in Blackpink, bro.
Maybe these are bad photos. Maybe all the photos on the internet of her are bad.
All right.
Does that mean?
No, it's fine. This is how we're trying. If anyone is listening at this moment in the podcast, we literally start a podcast so we can have unfiltered talk like this.
Exactly.
Hi, Subaru.
Hi, Subaru. Hi,
But kill him though. But kill him.
The next girl, she was one of the top tier visuals, in my opinion, during the Generation 2.5. Naeun from A-Pink. BM.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. This picture, by the way, I chose the one where it was before she had plastic surgery.
Oof, you just had to say that, huh?
Yeah.
Damn.
BM.
Here we go again.
She's from the older generation, so
very, 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 very low.
Okay.
Respectable.
I don't know. I think she's a little too high to be oof. But she's very close to being out of
on the same level as Chaeyeon. Okay. Interesting.
No, Chaeyeon's higher.
Chaeyeon's higher. Oh, okay. So
wait. I'm gonna put Irene at Wait. Wait. This is Irene, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
And Chaeyeon,
Cheon, okay.
Damn.
Well,
Yeah.
so
All the
Cheon-
Dia fans just cheering.
Yeah.
Dreamcatcher fans dying.
Dubious. How about you?
So Naeun is at a high B plus for me.
Mm.
So she is from a group that was higher mid tier. I think just looking at the legacy of K-pop.
Yeah.
And her strong points is that she acted quite a bit. So she has a high score in acting for me. Variety, she hasn't had a big presence since we got married, but that's how I personally found her. So I kind of have a soft spot when it comes to that. And I do think that I don't think she appears on a lot of like if we're looking at like top visual tier lists now, she doesn't appear in a lot of them. But like during her heyday, I feel like she was always there. So she has like a mid to higher ranking there for me. And of course, like A-Pink technically have not disbanded, so they've been going on for 11 years, and so I gave her that longevity kind of bonus. So for me, she's a high B. Doesn't really have enough to I think break into the A spot.
Okay. Next up is from us 9, Nakyung.
Oof.
Dubious.
So Nakyung for me, let me find her. Oh, F. Okay, well, she is our low C. So Nakyung, interestingly enough, is like in the last like 6 or 7 in terms of like Google Trends individual ranking. From its 9, the group itself is also like lower mid group. She does do a little bit of acting, and she's also done a little bit of variety. But I don't think she has enough across the board to break into the B tier. But I think generally, like you do see a good amount of articles from her, enough to the point where she wouldn't really go into the D tier.
I see. And BM?
For Nakyung,
Yes.
not looking good.
Don't be a dick. I like Nakyung.
Not looking good.
I like Nakyung.
Very low oof.
Oh man.
Very low
Bro,
oof.
I like BM spiciness today. For some
Actually, no. Sorry. Let me change that.
Move it up. Don't bring it down.
Mid oof.
Mid oof. Okay,
Mid
so
oof.
both Hani and Jiwon.
Yeah.
Okay. Guessing you're still pissed off, Dubious.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like Nakyung, but what can I say?
Actually, yeah.
Also, why is my chart looking like a distribution, like a Gaussian distribution?
No, I changed the order. She's actually second highest oof.
Second highest oof. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I like
And
it.
if you look at BM's distribution, his is like a lower end.
It's just like everyone's crap.
Whoa.
Sorry, I'm just subjectively.
We are now going on to some of the older generation's visuals. Next up is Nana from After School. After School being a major second gen girl group. Dubious. I'll let you take this one first.
Okay, so Nana is an interesting case because, like you said, she is from an older generation girl group. Technically, they haven't disbanded, so at least on Wikipedia, it seems like they've been going on for 12 years. I don't think she's part of the group anymore, but she was in it for quite some time. Okay, going back to the topic at hand, she is in top 3 in terms of Google trends. Like like 36. So people who look up like After School, like if you look at like just all the members included and stuff, like she's very high. Also, the group itself was pretty influential. I would say like higher mid tier. She's very strong in acting, and I would say she has, I think the general Korean public also thinks she's very pretty. And like there were like that stupid like top 100 like pretty faces of the year.
Yeah, the TC Candlers.
Yeah, that like some random dude makes or something. I mean, even though it's like not, that's all subjective and stuff. She was number 1 for one of the years. which
Mm.
did kind of bring more popularity to her as well. So I do consider that in and with that all said, I do think she's like a low A.
Okay. Have almost distributed distribution for you now. BM, how about you?
You know, I think I'm gonna put her at a high.
Oh wow.
Now, I will say this: I don't want people giving me crap, but if you look at her pictures, depending on what years you look at her, she looks very different. I will say that. But
High.
yeah.
Oh wow, you put it pretty high, BM.
Yeah, high.
No,
Okay.
Nana's pretty.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Now. The next girl in After School's sister group, Hello
Ooh.
Venus, Nara. She
The true main character of Itaewon Class.
if you don't
Don't at me. Don't at me.
she's more of an actress nowadays because Hello Venus disbanded, but she was known to be the visual of that group. BM, your first impression?
She was in Itaewon Class,
Mm-hmm.
and she was. I thought her. My impression of her was like she was very pretty. With that said, I'm gonna place her at
Oof.
What do you mean? Oof.
No, I mean you said with that said, so I was like, oh.
With that said,
Gonna make a new tier. Super duper oof.
no, no. High air.
High air. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
High air.
Damn, this guy's turning to distribution too. We just need more hums.
Yeah.
Interesting. Next girl.
Actually.
Oh, he bumped up Bona.
Damn, he's making my job so hard.
Actually, no, never mind.
No, just say that.
Wait, how do I bring it down?
And I think you could put, you could just do that and then press Nakyung to the right and then bring Nakyung.
I see. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Up next is
Hey,
Seolhyun.
you don't care about me where I put Nara, I guess.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Dubious.
All
Yes.
There's only two people here, I guess. With Nara, I give her a C plus, and the reasoning for that is because Hello Venus is a small group, or it was a small group. The only metric in the chart that was high for her was in acting, but even that, like, it's not enough to push her higher than a C plus. I think I don't think it pushes her into B. Just given that Hello Venus was just a smaller group, and she actually just in the time that Hello Venus was a group, individual ranking wise, she actually wasn't that high. By the time Hello Venus disbanded, Nara has overshot the amount of people that are looking up Hello Venus on Google. But I'm just looking at the time that she was in Hello Venus, and by that, I don't think she would be in B.
I see. Wow, we're halfway in, and neither of you guys have had anyone in your top tier yet. To the next girl, Seolhyun from AOA. Dubious.
All right. We have our first S.
Oh, wow.
We have our first S. The reasoning for that is she's in the top 6 in the Google Trends individual rankings. AOA as a group was very popular during the time that they were promoting. I would say they're not like Red Velvet here, but they're like slightly below Red Velvet in terms of just like the influence they had in K-pop. She is very strong in acting. She's also relatively strong in variety. And she was the it girl for at least a couple of years, or 2 or so years. And I think interesting enough, like the Korean audience did think she was pretty, but I think if anything they thought she was more attractive overall, like as like a whole this is gonna be weird, but like whole body kind of as a whole instead of just like her face.
Right.
But she was the target of sponsorships and individual CFs. And I think she's just very strong across the board. So she is my first S tier.
All right. BM. Oh wow.
I'm making a new row.
Okay.
Kyle,
Called-
do you know that moment when you see someone and you go back, they catch your interest?
Uh-huh.
So I hope there's gonna be more than one girl in this tier. If you made this one tier just for her,
Catch your interest, but the feeling dies down, you know?
and that's below O, but that's above Eh. You're saying? Okay.
And I think Seolhyun falls into that category.
Interesting.
All right. And this is very
So she did
subjective.
catch your attention when you first saw her picture.
Yeah. But then,
And it
like,
died down, but it's still better than
yeah, the more pictures I see, it's like, huh, like, not as I expected, and then, like, but it's still above A, you know?
Yeah. On to the next girl. Miss A's Suzy, or at least former member of Miss A. BM, I'll actually have you start off first.
Oh.
If you want to be my friend, you have to be very careful with this.
Oh. Suzy is a low smile.
Low smile. All right.
Low smile.
Low smile.
Interesting.
I love Suzy and her dramas. Startup was terrible,
Oh,
but
you got that right.
Suzy looks so beautiful in it. Yeah. So a low smile.
Nice. BM's very first top tier rank is Suzy.
Deserved.
Dubious, how about you? I bet you agree.
She is an S tier as well.
Yeah.
So Miss A, I think, has pretty big influence in K-pop. I think anytime you watch any of the produced shows, they always have some Miss A song on there. Once or their songs were very defined. Like it was very Miss A defined. And so I think they have a pretty big influence on K-pop. Her high ratings come from acting. I gave her like the highest score possible in terms of acting. I do think she's like an A list or like B list at the least when it comes to acting. She has done a little bit of variety in the past with like the Invincibles. She hasn't done a lot of variety as of recent, but like in any like Korean rankings with like visuals, like it's very hard to not find Suzy in there. So I gave her pretty high, like kind of Korean population reception there. But she is the first member where even during the time Miss A was a thing, she trended higher on Google Trends than the group itself. So like, so even when they debuted when Miss A debuted, there were some months where Suzy would be higher like search on Google. But since May 2012, there was ever only 1 month where Miss A was looked up more on Google than Suzy was.
Interesting.
So, I think that's very telling of how important she was to Miss A as a group. I mean, maybe that also shows what how lesser popular the other group members or other members were, but still, like I think it's huge for Miss A that Suzy was a visual for them.
Okay. On to the next sweetheart, Jui from Twice.
Who?
My goodness, dubious. Let you take this one first.
All right. So Chewie is technically on the high, like a little higher mid tier in terms of like the individual, or like she's actually like in the mid. And I think that's somewhat telling because I think there are other members in Twice that were very popular are very popular. There was 1 month where she did trend higher than Twice, and that was in January 2016 when she had the controversy. But that doesn't really, it's not really telling of her as a visual.
Right.
What helps her, I think, is that Twice is a top tier girl group. I think even by the time they disband, they would have left a legacy that is hard for most of the girl groups to reach. And I think like on most there'll be so many Jewy articles anytime she comes out on red carpet or any shows or things like that, like people would just be like, "Is this even fair?" And like they would post pictures of Chewie. So I think she ranks very highly in terms of like Korean reception. Where she ranks low, terribly low, is in the acting and variety. Like she hasn't acted in any like noteworthy projects, and also even in variety, like she's never really participated in anything. So I think that holds her back. So I give her a low A minus. Like she's actually on the cusp of like being like a B plus.
Well, in the twice like self variety, she's funny.
No, yeah, I agree. And like I guess that's one thing I can't really capture in terms of like how like because so much of the variety is turning to more like group or like a company led like YouTube channels. So I do think she's very funny there, but if we're looking at like just like the traditional way of reaching audiences through variety or acting, she is lacking in that department.
Yeah.
So I gave Jui a new tier.
Oh, interesting.
Jui cutie.
Oh,
I love Jui. Yeah, she's so pretty. She's so beautiful. She deserves a new tier.
Yeah. No, yeah, she definitely be on top of the tier list for me as well.
No, I'll forgive you for all your transgressions in the past.
Just for that, Jimmy.
Just for that, yeah.
Just for that.
Yeah, I love her in variety. She's so cute. I love her personality. She's so pretty.
I agree.
Easy new tier.
Easy new tier. On to the next group of girls, most of them being part of this new 4th gen. aespa's Winter, BM. I'll let you take this first.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 Oh.
Yeah.
Another tier, huh?
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
What?
No. Okay. Hi, Ju Cutie.
Hi, Ju Cutie.
Hi, Ju Cutie.
Hi, Ju Cutie. Interesting.
I'm struggling because I can't betray Jui, by making a new tier. Hi,
so they're in the same tier, you would say?
Yeah, hi, Ju Cutie.
Okay. Dubious, how about you?
This is gonna hurt me.
Oh no.
But so I think aespa is, as of present, they've been around for about a little more than a year, right? So she doesn't have longevity to help her. However, aespa I do think is a strong group right now. But she hasn't acted. She hasn't really done like reoccurring varieties. I do think she is very well received by the general population. But at the same time, she's kind of low when it comes to Google Trends. I don't know why. I actually thought she'd be high, but like technically Karina is a little higher. I looked up both. I was like looking up Karina and Winter, and Karina is a little higher. So for me, I give her a B. Like I personally think she's very pretty, but like the fact that she hasn't been around for long, and she is low on the individual rankings, makes me put her at like a lower B.
That's interesting because I know she ranks really high in like individual rankings in the Korean, like individual.
Yeah, so I think Naver, like if I had data on Naver, it'd be so much more useful. But I had to go off of the Google Trends one.
Okay.
I think like with that being said, I think she only has up. She's only gonna go up from here.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have the benefit of longevity on her side.
I'm making a change. I'm making an update.
Yes.
Okay.
This just in. Winter is bumped up to Worth the Fire and Brimstone.
Could you explain that tier? What does that mean?
Is it just
exactly
tier,
what it means?
Yeah, I made this tier, and she's worth the Fire and Brimstone.
Okay,
for betraying Jui.
Betraying. All right. That's fair.
This tier list is amazing. Wow.
He's just making up as it goes.
But it's entertainment,
But it's entertainment.
Yes. I like that. I like that. Next is Wonyoung from IVE.
Oh.
This one,
Oh yeah.
Oh.
dubious. I'll let you start
All right,
this
I'll go
one
first. Okay, so here's the thing about IVE, right? I think we mentioned this a couple episodes ago, but if you look on IVE on like Google, you'll get some random ass like searches, right? Like you won't get the K-pop group. So when you do Google Trends, it was very hard to figure out like they'll tell you to put in like, oh, like you can put in Wonyoung, but then if you put in IVE, like you'll get a bunch of stuff that isn't like IVE K-pop related. So I had to put IVE K-pop. When you do that though, you'll see that for every one person that looks up IVE, or sorry, for every like one person that looks up IVE, like 4.4 people look up Wonyoung.
Interesting.
So I don't know. I don't. This is kind of off because like IVE hasn't been around enough, I think, to the point where like Google has like IVE like girl group kind of tag, right? But still, like technically she is higher than Suzy in terms of like individual ranking, but like she's been around she hasn't been around for a while, so I kind of I'm a little skeptical of that. However, I do think that their group in the like month or so they've been around has been doing very well. Of course, she hasn't really acted much. On variety, it seems like she's doing quite a bit of variety. I gave her like a mid-tier ranking for that. I think she's like done MCs and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
And I do think like right now she is the new hot thing. Like I did give her a very high score in terms of like public reception. So I gave her a low A. I think she's also gonna be one of those people that you can easily move up to an S tier depending on like how well IVE does and like the type of like CFs that comes her way. But as of right now, not there.
BM.
Oof.
Oof. For me, she's the uncanny valley of K-pop. When I look at her, she's kind of unsettling.
Yeah.
So, with that said, goodbye, boys. I'm placing her in a lower oof.
Oh, wow.
You had enough conscience to not put in super oof after seeing all those things.
Yeah. Lower oof.
It's like the almost near perfect image.
Yeah.
Too good to be true. Yeah.
Look, man, she's an android.
Dubious has the same opinion.
I think she might be a little higher. Like if I was just looking at her personally, but yeah, she's not really like I'm not that attracted to her as like I think she has some weird things going on. Great, I think I've said enough things to get me killed too. Holy crap.
On to the next girl, Xiaoting from Kepler, who just debuted like legit a week ago.
Yeah.
But I still do think it's nice to have her included just because Kepler is a rather popular group now in Korea, and they sold the most albums, first week albums amongst any girl group. So they're one of the girl groups I expect to see rise a lot this year. BM.
Xiaoting. I'm gonna place her. Get ready for it.
Okay. I thought it'd be something good. You got something controversial here or something?
No, not really. High O.
Okay.
High O. Okay. Oh.
High O.
That's high. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the same as Jisoo. That's great.
Yeah.
But not actually. Maybe on the same tier as Jisoo.
Same tier. Okay.
Yeah. Remember when I'm like sometimes it's
Yeah.
you see them and they're like, wow.
It's like, oh.
Yeah.
What about you, Doobies?
Xiaoting, I mean, they've been around for less than a month or so. She literally does not have any like Google Trends data.
Yeah.
And low in acting and variety in general. I mean, I actually gave her a couple points because she was in PG, or sorry, GP 999.
Mhm.
But like not Ive, god damn it. Kepler is
Kepler.
also a new group, so they don't have a lot of like legacy. So she's also gonna join Jiwon and be in the D tier for now. I think she's gonna move up, but right now, like just going off by the way that I've been judging everything else, like she has to be in D tier.
Right. On to the next girl, Yeonhee, who's from a relatively unknown group called Rocket Punch. She's just someone that I had seen in several articles pop up, so I thought it'd be nice to have her included. Dubious. I'll let you tackle this first.
So I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know this girl existed. She is on the lower half of the Google Trends individual rankings when it comes to her, searches for her versus Rocket Punch. And Rocket Punch is a small group. I couldn't find any information on her acting or being in variety shows. I could be incorrect, but I just could not find any information.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And also, the fact that I've never heard of her. I mean, that's also my fault, but also that means I haven't seen her on a lot of like top visual like charts or rankings. And they're not like a long-lasting group. They've only been around for 3 years, so she's also going to join the girls in the D tier.
In the D tier. BM.
For me, I think Yeonhee is a mid-oof.
Mid-oof? Okay.
A mid-oof. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't, bro.
I don't.
But it's okay. I don't know Yeonhee either.
I don't.
I mean, it's coming from first impression, so yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
The next,
I don't know.
yeah.
Let's
The
say
next girl, though, Yeonwoo from Momoland. We all know her.
Oh.
She's a former member now. Even the Momoland is still promoting.
BM's popping a boner.
Oh, dude,
Figuratively.
Can you insert the emoji with the blowing smoke?
Blowing smoke?
Yeah.
Oh, send it to me.
Okay.
Take it away, BM.
Oh. Yeonwoo?
Yeonwoo has a special place in our hearts.
Oh.
There's so many
wow, he
clips
just
I want to put
dragged
on
her up.
YouTube. No, it's because BM watched a couple of dramas with her recently, and he's just like smitten over her right now.
Oh, really?
Yeonwoo's a Jui cutie.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeonwoo's a Jui cutie.
She even has some attributes that look like Jui too.
Oh, Yeonwoo's...
Yeah, I think I remember seeing an article or so like that back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Yeonwoo. She's so pretty.
Which drama, BM? Is it like if you cheat then you die or something like that?
No, it was live on, I think.
Oh, the high school drama. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, she was so cute.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Dubious, how about you?
For me, she's actually interesting enough, kind of on the lower end of the individual rankings from Google.
Interesting.
Or search. Momoland themselves, I think, are on the mid or lower mid tier in terms of influence on K-pop. Her strong points come from acting, and also she did some variety as well, it seems. And I do recall seeing her every so often on like articles talking about people saying she was like really pretty and stuff. So for me, I give her a B minus. Yeah, I she's no longer in Momoland, so it's gonna be hard for her to move up that ranking in terms of the influence she had on Momoland. But
right. Yeah. Next girl, Irene from Everglow. She's still in the group, guys. Don't worry, she's still in the group. She's just taking a hiatus. Dubious.
Whatever you want to say. So Irene, who has a soft spot in my heart for, because she was in Produce 48, and I do think she had a good chance of moving on.
So it's who you have a soft spot for. It's who you have a soft spot for.
Yeah, what did I say? Did I jumble that backwards?
Yeah,
I think you might have.
Sorry. Sorry. She, I give her a D. It's just she's not high in any of the metrics. She's not high in individual rankings, on Google Trends. I mean, Everglow themselves are a small group. It seems like she hasn't acted at all. She's done a little variety. I mean, I gave her the only variety points I gave her was coming out in Proofs 48. And she was like the first like ranked by all the other girls in Proofs 48 for being the visual
Yeah.
in Proofs 48. But it's just in terms of like helping Everglow grow, I don't really think she helps that much.
Yeah, and from now on, I think that'll be kind of hard too.
Yeah, it'll probably be a little harder.
Yeah. BM.
You know, I was gonna place her in. You know that moment when you see someone and you catch your interest, but the feeling dies down.
Yeah.
But the more I look at her, I'm gonna place her at a high.
Wait, she dropped like two tier lists like in a split second.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Interesting.
The fastest.
Wait, did you move some people down to oof tier? Oh, never mind. Sorry. You have a super roof. I forgot you had a super roof.
Yeah, the fastest dropping stock.
Yeah.
Dang, I keep on seeing Beyond Dad at Super Oof, and I'm just like,
dude, I keep looking at Nakyung and like it's like a good picture of her. I'm just like, damn, that hurts my heart.
Wait, which one?
Nakyung, the one that's doing the like two heart things with the bob hair.
Yeah, second from left on that.
Yeah. Nakyung's an acquired taste, I think. Sorry, that sounds weird, but I think she's an acquired taste. Sorry.
You gotta keep that.
Sure. But yeah, it's kind of weird. But I'll stand by it. She's an acquired taste.
All right. Next up is YooA from Oh My Girl. Oh My Girl is a group that does actually very well in Korea these past 2 years. They've really bumped it up in terms of popularity. So I'm actually kind of curious what you guys think. BM.
This is a moment where I really want a mid oof, but I don't have a mid oof.
Mid oof.
Mid oof.
Oh, so she's either gonna be very low on the oof or very high on the super oof.
Damn, she came out on 1 million videos, bro.
She's gonna be a mid super oof.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, a mid super oof. I don't see. I can't understand what people see about her.
No, okay. I do think YooA is one of those people where you either see it or you don't.
Oh, I see.
Again?
Yeah.
Because she has a very unique visual.
Yeah, no, I think she's very unique. Acquired taste. Maybe. Or it's just you either see it or you don't, and yeah. I don't think there's a lot of like middle of the road people with YooA.
I see. Dubious, what did you find out about her?
Jeez Louise. All right, Professor. So she's actually on the higher half of individual Google Trends. She does come from a relatively influential group. I gave her like a mid, or like I gave Oh My Girl a mid to like higher mid influence. I couldn't find anything about her acting, so she has a very low score there. It does seem like she's done variety, and interesting enough, like I do feel like there's some articles here and there I've seen in throughout being on all K-pop and whatnot, where like she is raved by fans for being pretty. So with all that being considered, I give her a B.
Okay.
I think she's a little higher than a C. She might be C plus, but I like the distribution that's almost there, so I'll just give her a B.
The Gaussian distribution.
Yeah.
On to the next girl, Stacy's Yoon. This was one where it was kind of hard to pick between her and Isa, but Stacy's one of those groups that doesn't seem to have like a designated visual. So I just selected it based off of Korean beauty standards, and Yoon was it. Dubious.
Okay, so it's really hard. There's not a lot of data on Google Trends for
You hate
either
me.
Stacy or Yoon. I'm going off of the metrics. Hey, you know what? At least okay. So with Yoon, for every like 18 people that looked up, on average, Stacy, there was like one person who looked up Yoon.
Mhm.
Dude, for ISA, they didn't even have anything.
Oh,
So
wow.
I don't know. I mean, yell at Google Trends for it, but like
That's
she's
a
on the
lot of
lower.
words. That's a lot of words to say you hate me.
No. I mean, I like Yoon, but I do give her some points for being in a group that I do think is influential or has been influential in the past year. However, she also hasn't acted in anything, as from what I can tell, and also hasn't done much variety or recurrent variety.
Mm.
But I do, here's the thing: I found out about Stacy before they debuted because people were raving about Yoon.
Mm.
That's how I found them out. And I was like, oh, this girl's really pretty. Like, the name's kind of weird, but like, I was like, okay, and like that's how I found them out, and which means I feel like the Korean public has, sees beauty in her, and that's why I don't think she's a D tier. I think she's at least like a C, mid C tier.
Wow.
Mid-C tier.
Wow.
No, I personally think she's pretty, but like going off the metrics, like there's no way I can give her anything higher.
After metrics.
BM, what about you?
Yoon is
Oh, wow. He just
Oh wow,
racked up to the top of the list.
really?
Yoon is a tied for second, third.
For
Street
Jewy Cutie.
Yeah.
Do you say Jiwon Cootie?
Yeah, no, I changed it back.
Well, you just messed that up.
Cutie.
I think when they style her, it nerfs her,
Mm.
but naturally, I think she's very pretty and up
Mm.
there.
She's like a Barbie.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
That's her nickname, Barbie.
Like Stacy's one of those groups where they kind of had to do a lot of like weird hairstyling concepts just because that's what their producer forced them to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. She, like, even though they had to do weird hairstyles, she kind of fit a lot of them. On to the next girl, Yuna from SNSD, one of the most well-known visuals that came out of the second gen. BM, we'll actually start with you.
Ooh, dubious. You're not gonna like this.
You want to give her a low score, dude? What? Dude, she's our childhood love.
I
Or she's
never
our
liked
first
her.
love.
I
You-
never liked her.
You
in
never liked her?
No, I never liked an SNC
Damn.
or in Sonyeonshide.
You saw them at the water park.
I know, dude. He fell in love with Chaeyeon.
No. I liked him. Remember?
No, I know.
Oh.
The thing is this, like, this is. I think. Oh, no, go ahead. You know what? Finish your thing, and I'll give my take on Yuna. You're crazy. You are stupid crazy.
Hi, oof.
Hi, oof. Okay.
Hi, oof.
I'm gonna.
So right
I'm not
next to
gonna do it
Bona
tonight.
and Nakyung. All right. Dubious.
So you know how I gave the definition of like what I think is a visual. I based it off of what I think Yuna as a visual did for K-pop.
Oh.
The thing is, I'm literally putting her in the first place in S because I think she's the gold standard for visual and K-pop as a whole, and it hasn't changed since the time that she. And like maybe if you're like, oh, what about like first gen, like SES? Like, okay, I didn't follow K-pop then. Sorry. So if you're like, oh, Yuri is like the standard, that's fine. For me, I grew up with Yuna during that time. I think she's the gold standard. She's from one of the most influential girl group of all time. You could possibly argue she is the most influential. Or sorry, they are the most influential. She has one of the highest ratings when it comes to acting. In the K-pop girl group, she's also done quite a bit of variety. And like was on a very influential variety called Family Outing season 2. Also, like it's very hard to find any visual rankings for K-pop girl members that doesn't have Yuna in it. And also like she was in the group for like 10 years or so. So for me, she's the gold standard. She sets the bar, and I think to me, she's the best visual we've had in K-pop.
That's basically what I said.
Hey, shut up.
To finish off the list, the last contestant, Yuna from ITZY. Dubious.
Oh man.
The
Okay.
red-haired mermaid. The little mermaid.
Red-haired mermaid. So she's actually on the lower half of the Google Trends.
Oh,
And I
interesting.
think that's probably because some of the other
F
members.
Google.
I do think ITZY is an influential group. I think even up until now they're an influential group. She's very low ranked in variety and acting.
Yeah.
I do think she has a good presence on I think she, the Korean audience generally sees her favorably and thinks she's very pretty, and that you'll see quite a bit of articles on that. But they also haven't been around a while. So for me, I would give her a B.
B. Solid B or low B?
For me, oh god, I don't know. I just put her at B. I don't really have a strong preference here.
Next to Winter and Yeonwoo. All right. BM.
Ooh.
You're gonna make a go to jail tier list?
She is a worth the fire and brimstone.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I knew you liked her. I didn't know she was like that tier though.
She has so many.
But you know what? You literally send me like god tier like Instagram posts from her all the time. So maybe
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
The selfies
god
that.
tier. Yeah, this is the god tier.
I mean, if you go on like ITZY Instagram, it's very hard to not fall in love with I feel like.
Wait, but I want to leave this out here. My ultimate bias is like Isa, right? But she's not on this list. Yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. It's Winter. She's
I
up there.
also like Karina, like from aespa, and like Winter, but Karina's not here either.
I gotta ask BM. I gotta ask BM if both Isa and Karina were here. Who would you, or where would you put them?
Not who you love. Visual.
Oh.
Right.
But I feel like you've just done this by people you like, so I don't know.
No. Isa, hi G Cutie.
Hi G Cutie.
Like first G Cutie.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you could see my face.
Karina. Ooh. Karina, mid worth the fire and brimstone.
Mid worth, so right between Winter and Yuna.
Yeah.
But you think Winter is like the prettiest visual in K-pop right now?
Yeah. Like.
I think of all time now, if you think about it.
Isa's really cute to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she's the prettiest, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting. I actually want to see kind of both of your tier list in whole.
Sorry. Before that, Insider. I want to like insert a clip here, Dubious, of Winter in Dreams Come True.
The music video.
Yeah, remember what I told you? That part I told you about. Anyway, yeah.
The wink.
Or the hip hop, the second verse, whatever.
Or just send me the the timing. Yeah.
Are we playing right now?
Yeah. Just makes my job harder.
Nice.
What was that, Insider?
Yeah, I think there's a difference between the two tiers. Number one, because Dubious is someone who grew with the second generation of K-pop, and he's been following it ever since. And then BM is a relatively new K-pop follower. One other thing I also
with like second gen though, but like he stopped midway. I think third gen.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he seems to be more familiar kind of with the fourth gen nowadays. So I think that may be one of the reasons as for the bias. I also, on Dubious's tier maker, one thing I do notice is that a lot of the girls who are able to act are kind of higher on the list. So naturally, those who are they're in the industry longer would rank higher. And those who are like relatively new seem to be focused on the lower end.
Yeah, no, I mean the formula I use is very simplistic, and it's not it's not infallible, you know. So if someone else was to make a formula that included different factors, this could look very different for them, right? It was just like in the time that I had and what I could think of, like I just chose the major factors that I thought kind of puts a general metric on these girls to show how influential they were and are. But I'm completely open to any suggestions to make it better. Yeah.
And then compared to BM's tier list, Suzy is the one outlier from what I see, just because she's kind of like the only like second gen, kind of like the older artist in that group. And it must have been because BM saw her in the dramas. But yeah, his is definitely like heavily distributed to the bottom. It's very interesting. His oof has 8 girls alone. He has very shallow middle tier, that moment when you see someone catch an interest but the feeling dies down.
That one girl. Seolhyun, the only one represented.
And his top girls are all relatively new, as I said before.
Creepy.
And yeah, and like the girls, they kind of have like different like there's not like one similar face that BM seems to follow. They do all tend to have different looks. So yeah, it seems to be a pretty diverse list from what I could tell. Anything that you could spot, Dubious, from BM's tier list?
No, it just got spicier as the episode went on. That's all I can tell. In the beginning, he was like hesitant, and afterwards, he was like, "I'm just gonna be shameless about this." And you go in super oof. I just like, so if I was to just talk about, this is all subjective now from my point of view, right?
Right.
Like, I'm surprised by some of the placements. I think Miyeon should be high. Like when I just think about like girls that I think are pretty, I do think Miyeon being a super oof is kind of crazy. I think Yoona is also like just because there's so many guys that like Yoona, it's interesting to see her at the bottom or near the bottom. But yeah, overall, like I can kind of see it. Like I think I know the reasons why like he placed some of the girls in the place that they are.
I never understood the hype about her.
About Yoona?
Yeah.
I mean that's fair. I mean I think like for me like I got to know SNSD because of Yoona, and then I moved on to Tiffany, and then I moved on to Taeyeon. And so like for me, Yoona's importance in the group, like she did exactly what Visual should have done, which is to bring attention to the group. And for me, I started liking Taeyeon more just because I liked her singing, and I liked, I thought she was really funny and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I can see why like I don't think like when I see Yoona nowadays, I'm not like super like hyped about her. But I just think like as a visual, she set the bar.
I see. Well, okay. If you guys also want to try out this tier making activity, I will have the link down below in the video description. And make sure to check out our previous podcast videos on our YouTube channel. And if you'd like us to discuss any other topics or even any other tier making activity, please do leave your comments and opinions down below. And of course, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
We're not getting any likes on this video. If anyone wants me to kill BM, just give me like $1,000 or something. I'll kill him for you.
What the?